My family moved here, actually bought property here in 1949, and we came to the island full-time in March of 1950. At that time I lived right down by Iceberg Point in the south end of the island, and of course I was kind of introduced to fishing just by sight when I was 10 years old when we came here. And then after that, moved around, went through high school here, grade school, started in when I was in the 5th grade, and loved the place. And my family later on left the island in the late 50s, 1950s. I had started fishing commercially in 1958. That's how I put myself through college and a few other things. So through the years, had a lumber yard at Fisherman Bay Lumber Company, was in the logging business, always commercial fished from 1958 until this time, on the reef net, right in the area that I'm on it right now. So it's 63 years I think I've spent out there in the Giard. Later on, I got involved with being on the old International Pacific Salmon Fisheries Commission just as an advisor to the reef net industry. They started out, reached their peak in about 1949. The reef nets are really probably the oldest continual commercial fishery that I know of in Washington State. The tribe started it way back in thousands of years ago. We have records back in around 3,500 years ago when they started. You can still see their anchors on the bottom out here. We've had anthropologists come, and during the time we had the Bolt decision and all of that things, there was a lot of studying went on to see where these sites originally were, because in the end they gave them the choice, which they haven't taken completely, of taking a certain amount of them when we had the Bolt decisions go through, which really divided the industry, and ultimately probably is the reason that we lost the political ability to stay involved with it as a big industry. We had 1,700 gill net fishermen out here fishing when I was starting out. We had probably 900 purse seiners that worked out of mostly places like McKay Harbor, or would come here from down Sound or around Puget Sound or around the state, really. And the reef nets reached their peak in 1949. We had 125 reef net areas in the San Juans, also at Lummi Island and Point Roberts and other areas. It's almost like being a sportsman up there, because it's kind of you and the fish. They're beautiful things to watch coming in. There's nothing more beautiful than that blue backs on those beautiful sockeye coming in. They're like an old growth fur. You know, when I was in the logging business here, we didn't do clear-cut logging. There weren't many old growth left because the tribes burned the island off a lot. That allowed insects to go into them. And they did it so they could get their hunting done with all this salal brush and this other stuff that we've let come up around here. So salmon they're beautiful things. There's nothing you can see farmed that they've done so far as I'm concerned, that holds a candle to it. So the world has changed, and it has been changing. And how long this is going to last and how much we've contributed to it, I'm sure are factors. But at the same time, I'm not terrified. I just think we got to get the thing under control, if we can do it financially without it ruining something. And we're smart enough to do that. So, yes, they're beautiful. I would mourn the day that we don't have wild salmon. And we've done a terrible job in Puget Sound on the river systems, the culverts, the parking lots, the asphalt drains. Well, I'm a conservative eco guy. I see both sides of things, try to. And I love what we have here and what flows around it. And anything that's going to ruin that, whether it's a tanker that does something dumb or is incapacitated and does something even more dumb, I would never want to see that happen. What happened in Alaska up there when the tanker, what it did to the salmon. So I would tell them, when you come, before you make harsh decisions, look around at the people that are here and have stayed here. Some people come here and they don't stay here too long and they move on. Even the ones that I grew up with, some of them went to the mainland. A good many of them have come back once they were able to retire and have stayed here. So let's be smart about the way we handle what we have and not ruin it. Water's going to be a problem. Got a lot of water outside. We can put in plants that'll take the saline out and so forth and so on. But let's be careful. People are starting to, make smaller farms and to take care of them. And I'm glad to see, some still like to see the wild stuff grow up, but it doesn't look like it used to. But I like probably 99% of the people that have come here to Lopez Island. And I'd say roll with the flow.